So I just spent the past 3 hours building a Lego version of the Millennium Falcon with my 7-year-old cousin, which you received for Christmas as a very nice gift, and it was pretty goddamn awesome. Not gonna lie, it took me back to the days when I was building Star Wars Lego. Good old times indeed. But anyway, you're not really here to listen about that garbage majigger. We're here to watch a Pokemon battle of the Ubers variety, and we do have that here for you today. Of course, this is the team that I built with Rich in Fury, the man, the myth, the legend. You know him well, probably. If you don't, you should go check him out. He's a cool guy. Obviously, this team is using Arse of Wawta, which is a very nice Pokemon, and it serves very useful in this match as well. And we're actually going to lead with it. Fartius here in the hot seat, and going to be leading off against the Genesect. Now, I know that Genesect can probably outspeed me just in general, even if it's not Scarfed, because this Arceus is very defensively based, especially defensive actually, with pretty much max HP as you can see. Well, not pretty much max HP, exactly max HP. And he gets the attack boost because I am very specially defensive, of course, as I just previously said, allowing him to do a pretty sizable chunk to me. Now, I'm not really sure that he's banded. I don't think he would be, just because after the attack boost, I would expect it to do more if he was banded, seeing as I'm specially defensive, not physical, which kind of leads me to the assumption that he's going with a Scarf set, and I guess the damage output kind of does that and says that to me in any case. But brings in the Abomasnows, I T-Wave, and the thing lives a Flamethrower. Not only lives a Flamethrower, thing has enough after a Flamethrower, a 4-time super effective move, to get a substitute up. It has over 25% after a Flamethrower. I didn't even. I know that I don't have any special attack investment in this thing, but I mean, come on, it's an Abomasnow. I have base 120 special attack just in general. I should be able to take that thing out pretty easily, but no, apparently he's defensive, or specially defensive enough, I guess, to take one, get up a substitute, and then throw Leech Seeds in my face, which I'm like, oh, well, this is kind of ruined things, I guess. Really has soured the entire situation, because I wanted to kind of get rid of his Weather Inducer, which would allow Groudon, which is my Weather Inducer, to just do its thing and then not have to worry about, getting rid of the hail and everything. But as it happens, the Weather War shall continue as he switches out his thing, not wanting to take another Flamethrower. I predict that switch as he goes to Reshiram and get a nice recover up there, so I have enough HP to take any oncoming hit that this thing wishes to throw at me. Now, I know I can take a Reshiram on, as long as he isn't Specs, I think. I'm not sure if a Specs Draco would take me out even, because I am so specially defensive, but he goes for it anyway, and judging by the damage, he definitely isn't Specs. I'm able to live it with the grand old 108 HP, allowing me to not only go for the T-Wave on this turn, but also live Leech Seed, and then on the following turn, throw a Recover in my own face to heal myself back up to a nice amount of HP, to the point at which I should be able to take on any other threats that so happen to come in my way. Also, the hail is getting me down, so I am really low at 26 HP at this point, but seems like a good idea to just recover. I know that if he wants to stay in and go for the Draco, then either he's going to get paralyzed, or he's going to miss, or the Draco is just not going to do much damage in general because the -2 attack, special attack drop, sorry. So that's the thing, and it happens, and such is the case, because he goes back into Genesect, which now at this point really seems like is going to be a little bit annoying, just because U-turn's going to give him momentum and such, and I don't really want that to happen, but I'm going to have to let it really happen in this case. I think I go for Recover unless I want to switch. I guess I do switch out, because 166 HP is a decent amount of HP, which I can potentially come in later and do something with, because, I won't have Leech Seed on me anymore, at least until Abomasnow throws them back on there, if it ever gets the opportunity. But allows me to switch into Giratina to take on the very easily predicted U-turn as he goes straight into his Heatran. Now, the thing about this Heatran is that, there's nothing about this Heatran. More what I'm trying to say is the thing about this Giratina is, but then I kind of said the thing about this Heatran, and we all kind of went into this word war with myself, where I thought I was saying something when I was actually trying to say another thing. In any case, I have Earthquake, is what I was essentially trying to get to, and I was thinking that him bringing the Heatran in on my Giratina made me think that he didn't think I would have Earthquake, but in fact it was a very clever ploy for him to say, hey, I want to check if you have Earthquake, so I'm going to Fortress as you Earthquake, which is exactly what happens, and thus he is able to figure out that, yes, I do have Earthquake, and there you go. That's all you need to know. Ooh, we're done. So Fortress comes in. I'm kind of surprised it doesn't have Overcoat. I think that's an ability it gets, and it would make sense to give it Overcoat on a Hail team, but apparently he's just going to stick with Sturdy, plain old Sturdy, which doesn't really make a lot of sense, because if you're on a Hail team and you have Sturdy, Sturdy's redundant because the hail will kill you. See what I'm saying there? But yeah, that's the thing, I guess. but whatever, personal preference. I'm going to T-Wave the Fortress. Probably not the best idea, because allowing him to get me more powered up Gyro Ball is never a great thing, and it kind of leaves me in a not great situation if he is going to want to fire those off. You know, if I want to try and set up subs with Giratina, then he's probably going to be easily able to break them. But I guess banking on paralysis chance is something that is technically quite nice, so I'm going to go for it, and it kind of works out, I guess. He did get up Stealth Rocks in some kind of process as he's now able to Volt Switch out. I'm going to try and recover HP up back to a decent amount as we get just over half of 242. And then comes Genesect, and he actually crit me with that Volt Switch, which wasn't too significant because we know from the last U-turn that the Genesect did to me, only did about 120 HP damage. I have 215 HP. Should be able to live another U-turn. Ladies and gentlemen, I get critted again. 2 crits in a row on Arse of Wawta, and Arse of Wawta was really cleaning up there. It was basically just stopping his whole team in its tracks, and unfortunately, Genesect is able to land a crit and takes my Arse of Wawta down, allowing him pretty much to go into the Heatran and be a royal pain in the ass. So now I get the opportunity to go into Groudon, and I can pretty much go for an Earthquake on anything I please. Barring Fortress, it should do a heavy amount, if not kill something. And he decides to go into Reshiram to take the thing on, which of course is paralyzed and pretty much useless at this point. One Earthquake is actually not going to be able to take it out. It's going to leave it and live it. It will live it himself, and I will in fact leave it at such a small amount of HP, a pint of milk of HP, which now I can kill him a second time because I outspeed because paralysis. That was a sentence wreck train, a train wreck of a sentence, and such is the case as it goes down. Well, there you go. Reshiram's dead. At least that thing's out of the way. But in comes the Genesect. I was going to say Giratina, but I thought about it for a second. And it is not a Giratina, it's in fact a Genesect. If you are looking correctly, you will see that it is in fact one of those. And I'm afraid of the Ice Beam, so I'm going to go into Specially Defensive Fortress. Specially Defensive Fortress can take on most of those hits, and it does so happen to take the Giga Drain, which I wasn't quite expecting. Some Genesects do carry Giga Drain, and I guess it can be useful in this tier, perhaps for Groudon, though Ice Beam's probably a better idea, even though, you know, Giga Drain's kind of helpful. He's pretty much locked in at this point. I'm pretty sure he's scarfed, as we've kind of learned at this juncture in time. And so I'm going to go for the Volt Switch, knowing he's going to be forced to switch out into something to take Fortress on. Heatran seems the most obvious switch, but I was just going to go for it anyway. Allows me to go straight back to Groudon, once again threaten something with an Earthquake, and he has to think of something either to die or just to go to Fortress, which would of course be the smartest thing to do. Now Fortress could obviously be afraid of the Fire Punch or the Fire Blast, but my Groudon's actually not carrying that, and I don't think most Groudons do carry them, so, well, you know, it's a potential thing to be worried about, but you know, you don't really have to fear it all that often. He, I guess, perhaps does fear it and thinks I'm going to overpredict and go for the fire move, you know, thinking that his Fortress would come in, but I don't. I just go for the Earthquake, clean out the Heatran, and it's done. It's dead. It's down under. It's in Australia. It's living a fun life there with the kangaroos and the boomerangs and all those fun things. He's going to send you a postcard someday, I'm sure. Anyway, he goes into the Abomasnow after Heatran dies. Baits me into the Stone Edge, which is, I guess, a nice enough play, and allows me to not do a huge amount of damage to the Fortress as he switches in. It was a smart thing to do because he gets up his weather, you know, cleaning out the sun, and then goes into Fortress to take the hit, which would have killed him, and thus ending the weather war in my favor. But, of course, you know, smarter than that, and allows him to do this, which is Volt Switch, knowing that I'm not going to stay in with Groudon against his Fortress, pretty much certain that an Earthquake won't kill him, and I don't want to be taking extra hazards on my side of the field, so he decides to Volt Switch as I go into my own Fortress, leaving me in a bit of a predicament because Reshiram White, no, Reshicurum, also known as White Curum. I actually like the phrase Reshicurum better. Yeah, Zecurum and Reshicurum. I just like that more than White Curum and Black. White Curum and Black Curum so boring and drab. Reshicurum sounds a bit, you know, there's a bit more of the fusion going on there. In any case, I just die. And the reason I die is because I don't want to go into Giratina as he predicts that and goes for a Blizzard. So I let Fortress just die to the fire move, and then he's most likely going to be locked in because he's probably running a choice set, as most of them do. And so it allows me now to go into Giratina as he's locked into the fire move and set up a substitute as he switches Fortress in. Now, obviously, I probably shouldn't have gone for the substitute knowing that Fortress was still around, because this Giratina has, I believe, Shadow Sneak, Dragon Tail, and Earthquake, all of which are moves which can't really do much to Fortress. Earthquake's going to do a pitiful amount. Dragon Tail, you know, is going to get rid of him, but it's not going to do much damage, and Shadow Sneak is obviously resisted, so bit of a shitty situation to be in, and I kind of should have thought about that before going for the sub as his, you know, thing switching to Fortress, but it doesn't really make a huge amount of difference because I do phase him out, unfortunately lose my sub, but I'm able to go for the Shadow Sneak on the Abomasnow as he goes for the Ice Shard, which was, you know, pretty decent because it allows me to get a little bit of damage on him before he goes down, and unfortunately doesn't take him out. I was kind of hoping that Shadow Sneak would, but, you know, sensing from this Abomasnow earlier being pretty bulky, it is not going to go down, and lives with the tiniest amount of HP. Allows me, however, to go into my Scarf Reshiram, lock myself in on the Blue Flare, which at this point is going to be roasting and toasting for sure anything that switches in. He decides to go into his Fortress's Death Fodder, I guess just checking to see what I was going to lock myself into. There was obviously the possibility that I went for the Draco or perhaps the Dragon Pulse, just knowing that that would finish off the Abomasnow anyway and would potentially cover him switching into Reshiram. But in all opportunities, Blue Flare seemed the best thing to do. It's going to do a huge amount if Reshiram comes in, and if it doesn't come in, then, well, it'll take out Abomasnow and Fortress and whatever the hell else come in. So I decide here to stay in and just go for a Blue Flare on the thing, because, you know, regardless of the fact that I know that it's probably not going to take it out, I just want to get that huge amount of damage on it, allowing me to perhaps, or probably, or most certainly revenge kill it after this turn is over. And in fact, that's probably what I end up doing, because I have ways and means, ladies and gentlemen, to deal with such a threat as this. Go into my Groudon, set up the Sun, and then go straight back out from Groudon into Ho-Oh, which now that this thing is at -2 special attack, I'm going to be able to tank that Draco Meteor, live at 71 HP, be faster than the Reshiram, go for a Roost or Recover, I believe. I think this one has Recover, which I guess is personal preference, as always. There's always stupid retards in the comments who do stupid discussions about freaking Roost and Recover. It's personal preference. I don't care. Do whatever the hell you want. No matter what. Just do whatever things and such, and great things and such. I don't know what I'm speaking anymore. Words are coming out of my mouth and I'm not in control of them. But as you can probably see, I set up a substitute as he leech seeded, and that's essentially going to be game, because he has no means or ways to take out my substitute and then follow up with a kill, because he will die to any hit that I now throw his way. And goes into Reshiram to go for the Blizzard, but unfortunately it's going to be able to be taken down by a Sacred Fire. Hey, he outsped me with the Reshiram. I guess maybe he was afraid he wouldn't take me out with the Draco Meteor from 71 HP, which potentially he couldn't have, and he did outspeed me. Then maybe... Wow, maybe he just threw away the game. I don't even know, but he explodes with Genesect. Boom! Boom, boom, boom. Even brighter than the moon, whatever. Yes, hi. Why did I just say hi at the end of a video? That doesn't really make any sense, does it? Does anything I do make sense? Probably not at this juncture in time. But hey, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed the battle. The battle was okay. It was alright. It wasn't too bad. It was the only one I really had left. And I will probably be taking more in the future, because I need to. I need to get material, as always, as most people need to do. And that will be it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, you can leave a like. Click the like button. There's a like button below. There's a thing you can click if you want to. If you so wish to, you can leave a comment if you want to. You can also peruse the previous video by clicking on the screen right now. If not, I will see you guys next time. Thank you very much for watching. And that is all. Goodbye.